What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's kind of Voice of Table Soccer here, and today we are going to be doing episode 2 of the Chelsea Football Club historical kit frame build. Now, in episode 1, if you have watched it already, then you would have seen us do some sock talk. We did some sock talk, everyone. As I said in that first video, really important for football kits in general, but massively important for Subbuteo kits because they really do matter, because they are quite a big part of the kit, and it's important for me to get them as close to being as right as they were to real life. So if you haven't watched that episode, there will be a link somewhere up here, a little suggestion that you can click over and go and watch that video now. Today we're going to be looking at the next 4 kits as we lay down some more blue tones, a couple of custom mixes to just lighten up a few of the blues because we need them to be a little bit lighter than the standard 25 Humbrol matte enamel. There's going to be some different sort of short trims in there. Yeah, a lot of painting tips as we start to build this frame up with those base colours before we start adding those intricate details. Before we get into the video though, guys, do not forget that our partners oldschoolfootball.co.uk have a 10% discount code Westwood10 where you can save yourself 10% off of absolutely anything and everything in the store using that code. The link is in the description below, as is the discount code, so you can just copy and paste it over and have a look at the price of this. Decent. And you can save yourselves 10% on that as well. And you can add things up and get 10% off the whole order. So get yourselves over there. These guys are amazing. But yeah, so without any more random chit chat for me, let's get into what we're going to show you today. First kit we're going to show you today then has a curved trim lines. We need to bring down our frame down and then kick it in at the bottom here, as you can see. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. The outside of this blue line is going to be white space, but as we said, it's a curved line at the bottom, so bring it down nice and clean, not very much paint on the brush, and just kick that line in across there, and then bring that line across the bottom of the shorts before we fill in the rest of the space in blue. Cool, so as you saw there, we filled in that blue space, and off camera we have added a T-piece collar, and we're just going to show you how we bring that cuff line down again. Now we start high on a full length sleeve and we bring it down so that we don't risk over painting into that space we want to leave white. This next one, nice and simple, has a simple white short stripe. So we need to now get a nice clean line on either side of that white space. So we're going to lay this blue line down here, get a little bit more paint back. Don't want too much on here. I'm going to leave that space in the middle, and we're going to drag our front line down because we need that to be a clean and straight line as possible. So when we fill in our blue, we've got a nice white space.
So blue space filled in, and all we're going to show you now is how we would come down to the bottom of a sleeve. We do it exactly the same way as if we were leaving that white space. We start high and we bring it down to the skin. What we don't want to do is start at the bottom and risk an overpaint onto that skin, because painting skin over blue is quite a difficult task. So this next clip is actually been slowed right down. I don't actually move this slow. Now what we need to do here is leave a white cuff line in between the skin tone and the blue line that we're about to add. Now we do it differently on a short sleeve shirt because there is less space to play with. So what we do to create that gap is how we would do a sock hoop. So we get a little bit of paint on the brush, we don't want too much, and we just want to bring around a thin blue line to leave that even white space at the bottom. If we'd have come in with a lot of paint on the brush, it's very, very easy to overpaint, and as we said in the last clip, if you overpaint onto skin with a dark colour, it's very hard to get off. So with our two frame lines on the sleeve then, we need to come in and add a ring around the top. This collar is something we haven't done before, and we're going to double ring it before we add in the actual details of it. So I need to bring around a thin blue line in between the top of the collar and the skin tone to leave a white space at the top but a blue line around the middle. And again, we don't use a lot of paint. This one hasn't been slowed down. I do really move that slowly. So we need to bring it around in here and join it to make a nice even curve. And then what we're going to do as we come into the bit that we've actually time-lapsed is we're now going to fill in some blue space underneath. Now this bottom blue area doesn't need to be as neat because it isn't an actual hoop. I just need that gap, that white space that I'm leaving in between that first blue line and this blue paint. I need that gap to be consistent and even, because what I'm going to do with this collar in a minute with some addition of some white acrylic paint, I need that nice even space to be there. So that's what we're going to do here, and we're just going to fill in that space off of there, and then we're going to cover the rest of the kit in blue. So off camera then we've added the white acrylic areas in. Now we had to add these pipes around the outside in white acrylic and do some detailing work on the collar. As soon as you add white acrylic though, it makes the white plastic space look very dull, so we had to cover in those white areas that we left in the white acrylic also to even up that white tone, and this is the paint that we use to do it.
Okay, so from that footage there, you saw us put the paint on the next 4 kits, and we kind of spoke over our painting bits as we did in the last one to talk you guys through what we're doing and how we're working it out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw up some images here of the kits. Now the first one, which I've got here in my hand, and it's going to come up here now, it's a real nice and simple one, just a plain blue shirt with those double frame lines down the outside of the shorts that we showed you in the video with that white space left in between. Kit number 2 on the yellow and blue base, a little bit more intricate. That was the one with the curved short trim that actually we showed you first in the video. Got the T-piece collar, but you can't see it here. So you've got the T-piece collar in there, the white space on the cuffs, and also a white bit on a winged collar. Obviously you can't see the winged collar that well because obviously it's the same colour as the shirt, but it has a white trim piece on it, so you can see that there. Kit number 3, this guy in here, now he has a white winged collar at the moment, a few more details to add, a few little white spaces left just up here under the arms, and a little white area on the shorts as well. Now with this one and the next one, we actually used a lighter shade of blue. Now we'll show that with a comparison piece between the first one and this next one that we're going to go through. So with that, we just lightened up the blue. The reason we did it actually is, one, because the blue is a lighter shade anyway, but it's got some of them have got these two-tone blue effects, that so you need a lighter blue than what you've already started with. So the next one, with this one that we said with the wing collar, he's got some more detail bits to go on. And the final one we showed you with the double ringed collar, the one we showed you in the video with the white enamel paint, lots of really intricate, like the white piping details that go on there, and that collar is quite complicated. It's the first one I've actually done of that nature, with that little bit that comes down through the top here and that ring that comes around and stops. So it's a nice collar to do. It's a good fun one. It did require us to put the matte acrylic paint on. I tried to sort of explain it in the voiceover, but I explain it again now. I left the white space as I normally do, because if there's white on a kit, I usually don't paint it. The reason for that is, one, I don't see the point. If I can get away with not painting it, it's already white, I don't need to add it in. But the issue that we had is trying to create that white that came down here with blue paint, essentially, by leaving space, was quite difficult to try and match it all up. So it was easier to do a double ring and then try and fill it in. The other reason was because it has that white piping line that comes down here, as you can see. As soon as you paint that in white, that white there is so much brighter than the other white, so you kind of have to fill it in. So we did the cuff line with that white as well. But yeah, so that brings us to the end of this episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a like, guys. We want to try and get these likes, so smash that like button if you've got this far. It really makes a difference to a channel like mine. If you haven't yet and you are new to the channel, please subscribe. There'll be a link at the end of this video. It might even come up over my face in a minute, and you can just click it and it automatically subscribes you. If you're enjoying the videos, as we say, please leave a like, and any comments below if you've got any questions about painting, any questions about what we do, or just to leave some feedback on what I'm doing to try and help me improve what I'm doing, or if you like what I'm doing, let me know. It's nice to get that feedback from you guys. Do not forget the discount code that we've got going, and also our music man, Sampledelic Sounds. His link's in the description down below as well. But there's nothing else for me to say, guys, except for thank you very much for watching. Stay safe.